Hi, everyone. It's Angie Knoll from Reconciled Solutions. I've been helping small business owners through financial crisis and pandemic and trying to provide advice and a sounding board for how we move forward in this new norm. I wanted to talk today with regards to evaluation and evaluating the different things in our business and ways to move forward. We're in that stage where we have passed the initial shock of the crisis and, we've fully absorbed that. We've moved out of that desperation stage. That was the time when there was no toilet paper to be purchased and so many of the groceries were out. And I don't know about you, but I was drinking way too much alcohol in my life. So we've kind of moved out of that desperation and hopefully we've moved into evaluation. This is the opportunity where we are looking around, looking at how businesses are reopening, trying to understand that and figuring out different ways that we can propel our business forward and move into this new norm that people keep talking about. So one thing that comes up a lot when financial crisis happens for small business owners is that we need more money. Everybody gets scared and we need more money. And the government has been good to us. We've had the opportunities through the CARES Act to apply for PPP loans and to apply for EIDL grant money and other local business, local grant programs and loans. But as a whole, the small business community, I think we need to choose loans and borrowing money as a last resort. Not that borrowing money is a bad thing, but I just ask you as a small business owner, have you exhausted all the other things that you could potentially be doing to improve the financial stability of your business? So I'm gonna go through 3 things today that I think that we could consider prior to a different loan. Okay, the first one is pivoting to new offerings. All right, I love watching this Planet Money podcast. It's by NPR, and they had focused on this Asian restaurant chain in Manhattan. And this gentleman was from China originally, and he was able to see the crisis coming and make steps to avert it. If all of us were so lucky, that would be a wonderful thing. However, some of the lessons that I think that we can pull from it are like, he realized in advance that people would still want to not cook at home, but they probably need bigger quantities because they want to exit their homes with less frequency, or additionally, they need to serve to more people because we are in shelter in place. So they changed their menu offering to get rid of some of the more difficult items, and they moved things to more chicken because chicken is easier to prepare. They made bigger meal sizes, and they made buy a meal for yourself, have one delivered to the hospital available on their menu. I just thought all of those things were really unique pivots, new service offerings that they changed in efforts to grab onto a new norm. So the first thing I would say is look at pivoting your service offerings in different directions. The next thing I want to talk about is following up on past due receivables. Nothing like a pandemic to make you realize that you're not following up fast enough on your receivables. That is money that is not in your business, that is due to your business, that is not in your business, and that can be used to pay your bills, right? So we want to make sure we have our accounts receivables processes spick and span so that nothing is aging. I just wanted to share a statistic that if you let receivables go longer than 6 months, the rate of collection is reduced by 90%. So the longer you let a receivable go as due and not requiring the client to pay, the less likely you are to ever collect that money. 90%. There's only a 10% chance of receiving that money that is due to you, that you have already provided services rendered for. So follow up on past due receivables. It is important. Establish a good process for that. Another thing to consider is cutting costs. So a lot of us have hired people back with the PPP loans, right? We're keeping people employed, and that's a great thing. But we may have to, after our PPP money runs out, we may have to cut staff back again. I don't want business owners to feel guilty about that. I know there's a lot of guilt there, but the truth of it is that a healthy business owner, one that is financially solvent, is going to be able to provide more jobs for the community than the business that is not able to pay the owner. So if you have to consider cutting staff back because you do not have enough business to support them after your PPP loan money runs out, then that is a true potential for you. And I need you to consider it. The other thing is rent. You know, these are things that were covered on the PPP loans, right? But as we have developed this work from home environment, things for some companies are going better. I just talked to a business owner last week who said that when they moved to a virtual office environment, so much more work was getting accomplished. They really felt like that virtual office environment was a potential upswing in their productivity. So that can be happening. Maybe that's an expense you don't need. At any rate, I just ask you to look through the expenses in your business and see if there's any opportunity to cut back. So those are 3 things that you can do prior to looking for a loan. If you have exhausted all possibilities, then maybe you do need a loan. There's a couple things I just wanted to cover on that, which is that in the past week, a lot of the people that have applied for the EIDL loans, the EIDL loans, they are now getting communication back from the SBA. And a lot of them have gone to spam, like they haven't noticed the email in their inbox, okay? I guess it's not very descriptive, but I just wanted to notify folks and let people know that if you did apply for EIDL funding, that communication has been coming out just in the past week. So make sure you check your inbox really well to see if you've received anything from the SBA. Check your spam folder as well in case it ended up in spam. And the only other thing that I was going to say is with regards to the CARES Act, business owners are more able to take 401k loans. There has been some restrictions lifted about the taxability of it. I still think it's a very, very last resort, and I would ask that you not do it. But I wanted to let you know that there are improvements and restrictions as it relates to 401k loans. Thank you. If you have any questions, let us know. And I hope you find some peace and organization with your finance. Thank you again. It's Angie Knoll from Reconciled Solutions.